Alright everybody, David White here. Thank you so much for joining me. In this video, I'm going to be running you through very quickly, it'll take me less than 10 minutes I predict, the link between weight loss and digestion and the link between hormonal health and digestion, and I'm going to show you something absolutely amazing that I bet you've never seen before, and in fact I had to go out of my way to prove this is actually true in this video, but stick around if you're interested in losing weight because this one is going to be mental. First things first, this stuff that I'm about to share with you actually works for all my clients. I've never had this not work, but for legal reasons, I've got to say results not typical. Consult with your health practitioner before you go about changing your diet or anything like that, because it's the 21st century and that's the way the internet works these days. So why do I talk about digestion so much? Well, digestion is usually where we will get hit first by inflammation, which is a very important word, whenever we're living an unhealthy lifestyle. In fact, just about anything can throw our digestion out, which is not to say that anything will, but it can. The chronic symptoms of digestive disorders generally feature things like fatigue, weight gain, which we'll talk about in just a second, feeling like you've lost your spark, senses of overwhelm, and just generally not feeling as youthful as you once used to. Now, the acute symptoms of digestive disorders can look like anything. In fact, if you imagine a chain, and if you imagine stress on our bodies, like eating bad food, not sleeping enough, not exercising or whatever, is similar to pulling on that chain, we'll break at our weakest link. Now, for some of my clients, that might be skin problems if they have digestive disorders. For some of my clients, they might experience joint problems like arthritis or back pain or neck pain if their digestion goes out. For me, I know that I have brain problems, like brain fog and headaches and whatnot as soon as my digestion goes out, but it really can vary from person to person. So no matter what symptoms you're suffering, healing your digestion is almost always the first step. And if you're not convinced about that, let me introduce you to a student of mine who we'll call CSO. Now, CSO is a model, and she does a lot of modeling for wedding dresses and whatnot. And here's a photo of her. Now, this is taken off her Facebook. She said I was okay to do this. But this photo was taken on the 3rd of July, 2014. Now, this is CSO on the left here, and as you can see, she's not pregnant, which might sound like a very weird thing to say. This is her name, CSO. But here is a photo of CSO on the 2nd of August, 2014. Now, as you can see, she's not overweight, but she appears to be pregnant. In fact, this is her husband posting this saying, I think, and then the name of their child. We'll be having a little brother or sister to play with just as a joke because it honestly looked like she was pregnant. Now, here's what had happened to CSO. About 2 weeks after this photo was taken, it was her son's birthday, and she had a glass of wine, which she usually never does because she is intolerant to it. Now, CSO also had a low-level underlying case of intolerance to eggs, which she had been eating pretty consistently. And what happened between these two photos is that her intolerance basically exploded. Now, this is a very acute reaction that she's having here. In fact, you can see she even admits it. She put up this video this photo as a joke, but she says down here, "No, I had an allergic reaction. I'm not having another baby. No, like congratulations." People or her friends are saying. Basically, what happened is that all her core muscles shut down because of the inflammation that was going on inside. And if you imagine her stomach muscles, which are trying to pull her belly button towards her spine to keep everything flat, pulling on a digestive system that's inflamed, well, they don't really want to do that because that'll just hurt your organs even more. So all her stomach muscles basically gave up in response to this inflammation that was happening. Obviously, this is a very severe case of a food intolerance, but you'd be surprised how many people struggle to lose weight because they're having issues exactly like CSO. And there's no amount of exercising that you can possibly do that will ever get rid of something like this. And not everyone who's watching this is going to have a reaction like this. In fact, I'll say almost everyone who's watching this is probably very unlikely to have a reaction like this. But even if it's a low-level reaction, something like this can be stopping you from losing the weight that you've been trying to lose for years. Now, here we go. 12th of October 2014, so about 5 weeks after this photo was taken, having gone through a digestive restore program with me, just following the stuff that I've been taught by people like Dan Kalish and Paul Chek and whatnot, Here's the name of, or here's the photographer saying he's with CSO, who's my client, or my student, I should say, and here she is modeling a wedding dress, definitely not pregnant. So this shows you the power of digestion, and I had to ask her if I could use these photos, and she said she didn't mind, but I really wanted to just show you the difference that can happen to someone in 2 months when your digestive system goes out of whack. And it might not be weight gain for everyone, it might be joint pain, it might be back pain, it might be hormonal issues. For CSO, obviously, her stomach muscles are the weakest link in her chain, and this is where she's been hit. So how did we fix it? Well, as I said, this is stuff that works for all my clients, and consult with your healthcare practitioner before you start doing any of this and all those kind of legal things. But here's what we did. The first nutrition hack that we did was to look at what 5 foods CSO was eating most commonly, and the more frequently that you eat something, especially the things that you tend to eat every single day, whether it's milk in your coffee or having sandwiches every day for lunch, the same type of sandwich, or having the same breakfast every single day, which is a huge one for people, having the same dessert every single day, whatever it might be, will generally lead to intolerance in your digestive tract. Now, for CSO, we cut those things out straight away. The second nutrition hack that we followed was to cut out the big 5, or the 5 foods that people are most commonly intolerant to. Now, these are gluten, soy, dairy, sometimes for a lot of people butter can be okay, eggs, and corn. And once we cut those out and did a few days of fasting and a few other really simple things that didn't require any money or time at all really on CSO's part, we got her back to modeling that wedding dress. Now, if this sounds intimidating, or you're thinking, what am I going to do without gluten? What am I going to do without dairy? What am I going to eat if I don't have eggs? Then I want you to know that's not actually you talking. And here's the deal. The gut microbiome, which runs our bodies, speaks for us. And the good bacteria in our stomach will do a lot of work for us. They'll break down food, turn it into new cells for us. They'll make hormones for us. They'll do all that without us thinking. But it tells us what we actually need. And in my last video, I mentioned that cravings change generally once you start healing your digestive system. And here's the reason why. If you have too many bad bugs in your digestive system, they will tell your brain what they need. And your stomach or your digestive tract always tells your brain what it needs. But if there's too many of these bad bugs in your stomach, they'll tell your brain that you want things like sugar. They'll tell your brain that you want things like gluten, eggs, whatever it might be. Whatever your cravings are, generally the less healthy your digestive system is, the more those cravings are actually coming from the bad bugs which are running your digestive system instead of the good ones. So these cravings might seem very real and challenging, but they're not actually coming from you, and that's a really important thing to know. So if you've liked this video and you're interested in learning more, here's what I've got lined up for you. Later this week, I'll be doing a free webinar training for you with a man called Paul Chek, who's well renowned as the best in the world of holistic health, called 3 Digestion and Hormone Hacks to get you feeling younger again in just 10 days. Now, we'll cover the 3 biggest things that you need to start doing to start feeling younger and having more energy, and I should have put weight loss in here as well. Right now, that won't cost you any time or money. There are no expensive supplements involved. You don't need to do anything like that. There's no crazy diet procedures or massive exercise routines that you need to go on. It's very, very simple to heal your digestive system. We'll be doing Q&A at the end of the call, so everyone who's been on knows exactly where they're supposed to be. And here are the times that we're going to be doing it. If you're in California like Paul, the time will be Wednesday, the 18th of November at 5 p.m. If you're in Sydney like me, the time will be Thursday, the 19th of November at 12 p.m. And I'll give you a link in just a second where you can convert that into your own time zone.